In this segment, I'm going to discuss layout values. I'm going to be using a sketch that was made previously of a suggested website and use a grid to create a modernist layout. I'll be blocking in the objects in the layout using the tools on Illustrator and then changing those blocks or those elements by using gray tones and different sizes of elements to help create a hierarchy. So let's get started. First thing we want to do is lock down the layers that we already have and to create a new layer because we want to be laying or new information in on top of it. So grabbing a light gray color and a rectangle, we're just going to pull in these shapes that were penciled in before. So logo, header, an information, who am I kind of section, have a footer down here. Have or bar for or different laying out our different sections of our layout of our website. And then the original plan was to have 4 separate segments for each of the elements. Looking at it seems maybe perhaps a little busy, so we're going to just take this and we're going to be able to toggle into this section here, which will have our article, and we'll put in a thumbnail over here to represent this video screen. And just to set it apart, let's bring that color up just a little bit. Okay, so what are the elements of our website? Let's start labeling them up here. Be our header, we'll just say maybe basic website layout. Over here, make this a little bit smaller. We'll lay in our logo along this bar here. We'll represent our sections. Let's see. Let's go here and back. Let's see. Lost our color there for a minute. Okay, so I want to just make that a little bit darker so we can set off the our sections of layout and topography. Color and imagery. Okay, then let's say over here. Who are we? This box here represents our text or article. Let's just make that a little bit bigger here. And then over here, our video box. Now, how can we represent text on a layout? Well, there's a website that typographers use, and it's called Lorem Ipsum. And if we just come here and say highlight a couple paragraphs, and then just copy it, come back, we'll pick up a text box and lay it in here. And then let's just change the size to a little bit smaller, and we'll lay it in here. Okay, we can do the same thing over here. Just lay in another text box. And let's make that one even smaller. Okay, maybe just a little bit larger. So what we're looking to is kind of seeing, what things look well together. So let's we got all of our kind of major things here, but the background is really plain and kind of scary, to be honest. So what can we do? Well, we can go back to a rectangle here. Let's pick up a darker color, and we're going to just put in a, let's see, I'm going to put in a background here. And as soon as I release this, since it's darker, we're going to lose our background. So what let's do here, let's take our grids out. And you can see where the things are, but in order to see them, let's go to Object, Arrange, and we're going to send this object to the back. And then we get our things. So that gives us a background. It snaps a little bit. It stands out. What else can we do here? Well, let's change the size of some of our presentation here. We'll bring this up a little bit, and to kind of offset it, let's give it a stroke. Let's make it a little bit darker and make it about 10 point and drop that in like that. Okay, then let's take a look at this one also. Let's bring this in here a little bit. We can shorten this up, or we could even change the color of the type. Let's see here. Or a lighter color, and then change the background here to the color of the background. Maybe just a little bit more. It kind of blends in. Let's bring this up. And since these are important, they're things that we want to that we'll be discussing on our website. Let's just bring those up just a little bit and maybe just pull that down a little bit. Okay. Now this section here is kind of all blending in. So, and we can take we can set this aside a little bit by lightening the area over here. Let's take this and make it larger. See if that will help it. And then maybe pull that all the way down. And just change the shading on that to just a little bit darker, because not quite that much. Because that's who are we? It's maybe not as important as some of the other things that we want here. Let's pull this line and make it a little bit larger. And let's bring it on across the page. Maybe just pull that over so that it's not going all the way across, just leaving a little bit on each edge. And then let's see, we're kind of losing our thing here, so let's go back here to this, and we'll make it just a little bit darker. So see if we can offset that just a little bit, and maybe just even a little bit more. Okay, so made some differentiation here amongst some of our things here. We're a little bright here. Let's just maybe bring that down a little bit. Not quite that much. Nice thing about Illustrator is you can just play with it until you get it to kind of where you want. By changing the color or the intensity of the color, you can determine which items are important. This might be just a little bit out there, so let's bring it down. Okay, and then our article, the headers here are going to be the headers that are up here. They'll drop in. So let's see if we can just pull this up a little bit more. Okay. And then maybe to just offset our video box here, let's also bring in a bit of a, okay, something like that. So as you can see, have the article here. By clicking on it, it can bring the whole thing up to a full page.